the last year or so, I've played a lot of really well-made games that nobody really know about. And so today's gonna be my top 10 most underrated Roblox games in 2024. But this list will only be games that aren't super popular yet, so you'll probably end up seeing some really good games that you've never even heard of. To start off this list, on mention number 6, I have All-Star Arena. This is a new upcoming battleground arena game, and normally I don't really play games like this, but this one honestly surprised me. What I like about this game is that it's not afraid to try new things. Like, for example, it has an assist mechanic where you can do things like use Toto's Boogie Woogie to swap whoever you're fighting, or even use Choso's blood manipulation to attack somebody. The combat itself is pretty decent too. Next up at number 4, I have Masashi. This is a new open world Naruto game. I played this game for the first time a few months ago. We've actually been needing some new Naruto games for a minute now. I can't say too much about this one due to it still being pretty early in development, but if you're a fan of Naruto games with good exploration and decent combat, this might be the game for you. Moving on to number 4, I have Ninja. This is a new open world Hell's Paradise game. I've personally never played a Hell's Paradise game before, but I love to finally see developers trying new things. What I like about this game is the amount of things it gives the player to do. It has a pretty good movement system, so you can explore the map in a way that's actually exciting. You can fight bosses, assassinate players. Overall, it just gives you a lot of stuff to do. I won't say too much about this game considering it's just an honorable mention, but I really enjoyed this game. Next up on honorable mention number 3, I have Bidsai Online. This is the new Sword Art Online game. I played it a while ago while I was in early development. The game has some pretty smooth combat. I like how it also gives you a variety of different classes to choose from. I'd say it was another one of those anime that we've honestly been needing more games of, so I can't wait to play this one when it's released. Moving on to honorable mention number 2, I have Veilbound. This is a new upcoming hardcore RPG game with a big focus on exploration, and what stands out to me the most about this one is its combat. The game's combat looks super smooth and fast paced, and it really just seems like something you could just sit there and enjoy. It also seems like the game is trying some interesting mechanics, like having the player explore randomly generated dungeons. Overall, Veilbound seems like it'll be an interesting game. This is definitely one I can't wait to play when it comes out. Moving on to the last one I'll mention, at number 1, I have Hunter x Mayhem. This is a new Hunter x Hunter game, and the coolest thing to me about this one is how the owner's taking an interesting twist on the anime. The game has unique abilities based off of the show, and even gives the player a storyline to go through. I haven't really played this game enough to say too much more, but if you're a fan of Hunter x Hunter, you've been waiting for a decent game like a lot of us, then you'll probably really enjoy this one. Moving on to the actual list, at number 10, I have Demon Bane. This is a new upcoming Demon Slayer game. I tried it for the first time a few months ago, and once again, this game honestly really surprised me. It's not what you would expect from a typical Demon Slayer game. I would actually say that it's a little bit more unique because they're putting more effort into the smaller aspects of the game, like for example, the movement system. The way that you traverse the map in this game is actually really cool. You can do things like wall run, wall climb, slide, all simple things that you would think most games would or should have, but a lot of games really just tend to ignore stuff like that, but this one did. The combat is actually really cool too. All the attacks have weight behind them. I think if you enjoy Demon Slayer games, you would really like this one because it's definitely a unique approach to it. Even though the game is still in relatively early development, I think that for where it's at right now, it looks really good. This is definitely one that I can't wait to play. Next up at number 9, I have Hunter x Game, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorites on this list. This is a new Hunter x Hunter game, and one thing about me is I love to see developers trying new things and being unique, and that's exactly what they've done with this game. It's the first Hunter x Hunter game I've ever played that has an actual Hunter exam. Not really sure why Hunter x Hunter games wouldn't have a Hunter exam, as that was a huge part of the show, but hey, this game has one, and the way they executed it is beautiful. You literally go through the exam exactly like how they did in the show. First you hop on a ship, then you get on that super long tunnel, then you have to fight people for their badges, trick tower, all of it. Overall, this game is just really well made. The combat is fun, the different abilities are fun to use, and most of all, it's literally a Hunter x Hunter game. If you want an honest Hunter x Hunter experience, a good, fun Hunter x Hunter game, then this will be the game for you. Next up at number 8, I have Eternal Battlegrounds. This is a new Battlegrounds game created by the owner of Your Bizarre Adventure, Uzuki, and normally I don't really play games like this, but this one honestly surprised me. The game is literally created by the owner of YBA, so of course it's going to be high quality, but all the characters look super good. You tell this dude Uzuki is a One Piece fan because the way he did Luffy is beautiful. Honestly, and this is not me being biased, y'all, I think this game probably has the best gear third I've ever seen on Roblox. Like, y'all can't tell me that's not cool. The combat is also pretty interesting as well. If you're a fan of combat that has different variations to it, or at least different setups to give the players more options, then you'll probably really enjoy this one. I'll try not to go too deep into this one, but overall, I don't really play Battlegrounds games normally, but this is one I would actually play. Moving on to number 7, I have Sinborn. Sinborn is definitely one of my favorite games on this list. It's a new open world hardcore RPG game, and honestly, there are a lot of things I love about this game. First, the way that you traverse your character is actually super unique. You can wall run, vault, and it really just makes the game seem way more immersive. The PvE also looks really good as well. The game looks like it has a whole bunch of mechanics that make the combat really engaging and fun to play. I can't even accurately describe what this game is about because it has so many different mechanics that you would honestly just have to play it yourself to understand what I mean. But if you're into hardcore RPG games, then I'm guessing you'll probably like this one. Next up at number 6, I have another one of my personal favorites, Towerbound. So Towerbound is a new open world Tower of God game, and where do I even start with this game, man? First off, this game is created by Fino. He's a developer who's also worked on games like Deep Broken, so y'all should kind of see where his skill level's at. Overall, what I love about Towerbound the most is the game does not handhold you, and I know a lot of people don't like that kind of gameplay where you don't just get told what to do and you have to figure it out yourself, but I don't know, that level of mystery and not really having any knowledge just given to you, having to find it yourself, just makes certain games more engaging to me, and Towerbound is definitely one of them. The game has different classes. If you watch Tower of God, you know that there are wave bearers, light bearers, spear bearers. The combat is pretty interesting as well. It's super super fluid and it looks super fast paced. But once you start learning the different mechanics, it begins to slow down a little bit, and the progression is super unique as well. Yeah, overall, if you're interested in a Tower of God game, which feels crazy considering we don't get unique anime games like that, but if you're a fan of the anime and the manhwa, then you'll probably really enjoy this one. Step at number 5, I have AOT Retake, and what surprised me most about this game is how it's just really well made. This is a new Attack on Titan game, and normally I don't really mess with these games like that because they all tend to be very similar, but this is the first AOT game I've ever played where I can honestly say that it's different, or at least it's unique. What I like about this game is the movement system. It's super fluid, it's very dynamic, and it gives you a lot of options to choose from. You can actually maneuver yourself kind of like Levi from Attack on Titan, which is goes to show how versatile this game's ODM gear is. I know a lot of y'all Attack on Titan heads have been waiting for a game like this, so if you want an AOT game that has actual fluid movement, which honestly I think a lot of us have been waiting for, then I think you'll honestly really enjoy this game. And I think that people have been wanting this for a minute now. I mean, why wouldn't an Attack on Titan game have good ODM gear? That's like the entire show. Anyway, moving on to number 4, I have True Heart Boxing 3, and I did not expect to love this game nearly as much as I did. This is the new Hajime no Ippo game, and y'all, trust me when I say this game is really well made. What's so cool to me about this game is how the developer made it so that the player has so many different options. You can weave your character's body in different directions to avoid punches, selectively block your head or your body with different buttons, use different move combinations to do left hooks, right hooks, uppercuts, straights, jabs. Pretty much any boxing punch you can do in real life, you can do in this game, and you can do that while you're in a match. Like, you can use all these different controls. It's not skills, it's just controls that your character uses. And it gives you so much versatility as a player that it almost feels like you're boxing in real life. Like, the way this game was made is crazy. I went into this game honestly not expecting it to be nearly as good as it was, but I really enjoyed this one. Like, I haven't gotten to sit there and play a fighting game like that in a minute. This was super fun. This is definitely one of those games on the list that I can see myself playing long after it's released, because games that have good combat tend to have good longevity. I can see myself sitting on this for weeks. Moving on to number 3, I have Sendai Ghoul. And I know I keep saying this, but this is another one that really surprised me. So Sendai Ghoul is a new Tokyo Ghoul game, and the last time I saw a decent Tokyo Ghoul game had to have been at least a couple years ago. So I just want to say real quick that this game is beautiful, man. The way they did the different Kagane in this game it's just hype. You can literally transform into Edo, you can become the owl. The combat is good too. Yo, the combat is, oh my god, hold up. So when I was playing this game, the thing that I noticed the most about the combat is that it's super dynamic. Like, the way that they actually fought in the show, moving around, fighting each other. And I know that's not a crazy good example, but that's the only way I can really describe it. Movement is heavy in this game. Every single ability that you use has movement assigned with it. Whether that's literally jumping above your enemy's head into the air to attack them, or just rushing forward to them, it has movement. Everything is moving. Once again, we've been needing a decent Tokyo Ghoul game for a minute, and honestly, right now, Sendai Ghoul has my vote. This game really stands out to me. Not even just because it's a Tokyo Ghoul game, also because of the amount of effort that's clearly been put into the development. The game looks good. If you've been waiting for an actual Tokyo Ghoul game with decent combat, I think this game might be the one for you. Next up at number 2, I have Irensee's new Dragon Ball Z game. This game looks crazy, y'all. Oh my god. Okay, so Ironsee is the same developer who worked on Berserker. This is a new Berserk game that didn't come out yet, but it was in development a little while ago. And just by that game, y'all can kind of tell that this dude has a crazy track record. Ironsee is a phenomenal developer, and it really stands out in this game. This is a new Dragon Ball game. It doesn't have a name yet, but Sparking Zero coming out soon. This dude chose the perfect time to announce this. This project just looks crazy. You can tell just by looking at the game that this dude Ironsee is a huge fan of Dragon Ball. You can just see all the love that was put into it. The combat looks super smooth, and it also looks like all the attacks have actual weight behind them. Like, everything is coming together here. The animations, the models, the scripting, it all just looks really good. You can literally do things like chain combos by stretching your arm like how Piccolo did in the show, or spawn a freaking clone of him to grab your enemy while you beat the hell out of him. Like, I know y'all Dragon Ball fans been waiting for a decent game like this, man. Definitely one of the projects that, like I said, I could see myself playing a long time after it gets dropped, because good combat just can't get topped. Like, ultimately, if the game has a good combat system, we will be on that. That's all we really want. Of course, we do need good gameplay, but I'm assuming this will be a more combat heavy game where the main focus is just boxing. The Irensee's got inspired by Sparking Zero coming out. I don't know, but the game looks phenomenal, man. And finally, at number 1, my most underrated game of this year is Demon Hunter. So I thought long and hard about putting this game here, and then I realized out of all the games on this list, this is the one that I played the most, and it's honestly the one that I've enjoyed the most. So Demon Hunter is a new hardcore, I want to say, but it's not like super hardcore, but it is at the same time. Demon Slayer game, and the game is just really well made. So I love everything about the way this game was was made, but for starters, I'll talk about the progression. The way that you progress your character in this game is actually super unique. So first, obviously you have to do final selection, where you have the choice to fight the hand demon. I chose not to because it's low-key busted, but you can if you want to. Afterwards, you'll start going out on missions where you'll notice that player demons literally stalk you, meaning that an actual player demon, not an NPC, will come in while you're doing a mission and try to kill you, so you have to actually fight back and attack him. And that to me is such a cool detail of gameplay because it gives every single mission that you're on actual tension. Like, you feel like you will die and then fail that mission. It's not just, oh, let me beat up this NPC and then I'll level up and get fire breathing. No, you can die on the mission. You also have to actually train your breathing, so it's not like you just get moves by unlocking stat points or anything like that. You actually have to train until you get total concentration breathing, which takes a minute. The stat system is pretty cool too. You get these nodes that you put into various stats, so it's not like you just get levels and then put them into, I don't know, agility or anything like that. You have to actually complete missions and then get the specific nodes to increase your stat, which just takes a little bit more effort, and I think it's just a cooler way to go about progression. The game is also obviously a literal demon slayer game. You can do things like unlock the see-through world, get a slayer mark. As a demon, you can unlock your final form, unlock various special moves like Tanjiro's water dragon. Like, there's a lot of things you can do in this game. Combat is also super fun to play. Like, don't get me wrong, it's toxic as hell, but it's fun. In this game, player demons feel like actual demons because they're literally just demons from Demon Slayer. They regenerate, meaning that while you're fighting them and cutting off their limbs, they'll actually sit there and regenerate them. Like, they'll regrow them and you have to cut them off again and again. And that to me just makes the game feel like so much more of a real Demon Slayer game. Like, players are strong too, but demons are strong, man. They're not weak. Neither side is weak, so it makes the game feel more intense. If you're a person who likes more difficult games and you're also a fan of Demon Slayer, then I think you'll really enjoy this one because the two come together perfectly. But yeah, y'all, this is my top 10 most underrated Roblox games of this year. If I missed any, let me know down below. Don't get on my head if I did, I'm sorry. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the sub button, drop a like in the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.